This is the Iron Fox Podcast, tunneling through today's car wash needs.
All right, hello and welcome to the Iron Fox Podcast, everyone. I'm your host today, Tyler Kern. And today's episode is going to focus on practical solutions for reducing costs for car wash owners and operators. And joining me today for this episode is Karen Knowles. She's the executive sales leader for Iron Fox. Karen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to talk to you today. And I know that there are some changes coming to the car wash industry that will have some ramifications and force some decisions that need to be made and force some cost-cutting measures. So tell me a little bit about some changes that are coming to the car wash industry.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind this morning would be the minimum wage increases for our area. And then the other is just the major increased competition for our area. Both of those have been hot topics through social media and just throughout all of our clients. You know, that's the big buzz that everyone's talking about right now for our area.
So there's obviously conversation and some concern, I would assume, over that minimum wage increase. What decisions is that forcing for car wash owners and operators? As their labor costs increase, how are they going to try to offset that, and what solutions are out there for that?
Yeah, so the first thing that has to happen is we have to ensure that the client is getting a clean, dry, shiny car to keep the staff from having to do unnecessary work that would increase their labor. You don't want the labor to go up, you want the labor to go down. Customizing their chemical lineup based on a variety of factors, just with balancing the show with the chemical cost and the customer's expectations. And then installing add-ons to up the average ticket cost to offset those costs for the minimum wage increases. Ceramic coating is a hot ticket item right now, and it's really the biggest buzz of the industry. We can partner to help with other aspects of the business too. For example, we can assist them with menu redesign, offer suggestions to improve processes, sales training, basically anything to make them more profitable and to reduce their cost is what we want to do to help them with that.
Yeah, and one of the things that you mentioned that I find really interesting is that chemical balance and getting that right. I don't think that that's something that many people will be terribly aware of, perhaps. Just the idea that there are different balances that can be maintained and there are different factors that affect that chemical balance. So kind of talk me through that process of getting that decision right and how that reduces overall labor.
So basically, the basic concept behind that is there's a high and a low pH chemicals that clean different types of dirt. Typical setup will start with high pH and then move to low pH. Some are a little more complex systems that would go from high pH to low pH to high to low again. The low pH is what helps dry the cars more efficiently, and that's what we want to accomplish at the end of the day is, you know, a dry car, a clean, dry, shiny car to offset, again, that minimum wage increase, you know, to help them produce a drier car when it comes out of their tunnel.
So for Iron Fox, so say you go to a customer's location, their car wash location. Are you testing the various chemical balances at different parts along that process? And how can you help them kind of tailor that to make sure it's just right?
So everything starts with the types of dirt in the region. That plays a huge role in what types of chemicals that we use. The temperature outside, you have to adjust the amount of chemical used in the winter versus the summer. The types of dirt may change from season to season too. Humidity will change the amount of air you will need on a foaming chemical. And then at the end of the day, just meeting that customer's expectations. Some people care a lot about a really clean rim, and others are not as concerned with other areas of the car. It just depends on that customer's expectations and how we can meet them.
So earlier you mentioned some add-ons and some potential ways that car wash owners and operators can scale up what they offer to help offset some of those higher labor costs. Kind of talk me through some of those add-ons. You mentioned one that's particularly popular right now. I was wondering if you could just kind of break down those options that car wash owners and operators really have at their disposal.
Sure. Yeah. Like the biggest add-on right now that everyone's moving towards is ceramic coating. it's an easy add-on. It's applied in the tunnel. It's not extra labor. And what it's doing is it's just allowing the customers to not only see a deep shine, but they can actually feel it. It just has this, it leaves this silky smooth surface of their vehicle. And it's just something that it's a product that the customers can feel. They can actually touch it and they can feel the difference in feeling of the exterior of their car. By adding on the ceramic coating, they can up that ticket sale, and we can help them with, marketing, coming up with some advertising ideas, helping them with posts for social media to up those sales so that customers know, what's coming and what it does and how it does it. Even helping with like videos and, creating something that would help them advertise that new product, at the end of the day can help increase the ticket sale, give them a new add-on, give them the newest, hottest ticket item, that's in the industry right now, and help to offset this minimum wage increase that's coming.
And Karen, one of the other things that you mentioned there, in addition to raising the minimum wage, was also increased competition. Can you kind of walk me through what that means and what that looks like in the industry right now?
Of course, yeah. There's more and more car washes opening every day. And, we're noticing that some are very close to existing washes. And, we're trying to find ways to help the existing washes differentiate themselves and be competitive. Marketing, advertising, sharing industry trends, whatever we can do to make them stand out above all the rest. And, those new ones that are coming in is what the end goal is for that.
Yeah, what it sounds like is that you're offering a complete package of solutions for car washes. It's not just about the chemical balances like we were talking about before, and not just maintenance like we'll talk about in a little bit, but we're also, discussing marketing and discussing kind of full service solutions for car washes. So it's really 360 degrees of solutions that you're offering, not just kind of one specific avenue, which I think is really valuable these days for car wash owners and operators that want to differentiate themselves in this market.
Absolutely. We have, a team to help them from A to Z to get, whatever it is that they need for the car wash industry, beginning to end, and we can hold their hand, if need be, through all the processes that they need our help with.
Absolutely. Now, you also have maintenance programs that kind of adds another level of peace of mind, I would guess, for owners and operators. Kind of talk me through the maintenance program that you have available that really helps make sure that everything stays running at a peak level and ensures that quality for the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. The maintenance program is awesome. There's less downtime, and our technicians have extensive operational experience, and they can recognize the long-term value of an operator's ability to self-diagnose and take care of many things involved in the day-to-day operations, which is exactly why we offer regular preventative maintenance contracts. The best part of this is we can offer hands-on training programs for their managers and staff and simply teach them things while we're there. And, that helps to allow the managers to do other things, like working on customer service, working on quality, training their employees. At the end of the day, it helps them, to have more time to do other things, but it also helps them to learn while our technicians are there, as a training program.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And we started off this podcast talking about wanting to reduce those costs and kind of bring that down, so you kind of offset that increased labor cost. And I think one thing that's especially important is reducing that downtime, like you mentioned. So part of a preventative maintenance program will help make sure that things don't go down, that you're not losing money because the car wash is inoperable for a certain amount of time.
Absolutely. Exactly.
That's right, and another thing that I think is worth pointing out is that is that we kind of started off the conversation talking about a specific area of the country, right? These minimum wage increases are coming to Maryland and Virginia soon, but this is something that people all across the country can start to prepare for now, and so thinking proactively about it before maybe those minimum wage increases hit whatever state that you're operating in. I think thinking through changes that you can make now to prepare for that is smart at any time, not just, when you're in the face of minimum wage increases.
Oh, sure, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you never want to have, it's very important to control labor in this industry. And these are just great ways to do that.
Right. Absolutely. Well, this has been a really great look just at how owners and operators of car washes can be proactive about reducing labor costs, about making sure that their customers are getting the best possible experience and the cleanest car, and that they're happy with the outcome. And so, Karen Knowles, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Iron Fox podcast, and I look forward to chatting again soon.
Thanks, Tyler. Have a great day.
And everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of the Iron Fox podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure you hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or bookmark whatever page that you're listening to this on to make sure that you can listen to future episodes or go back and listen to previous episodes of the podcast. Of course, we'll be coming out with more episodes again very, very shortly. But until then, I've been your host today, Tyler Kern. Thanks for listening.